Award shows were once seen as grand ceremonies of self-congratulation and glittering smiles. But beneath the polished acceptance speeches and designer gowns, there's a different story to be told. A story of long-standing feuds, hidden grudges, and very public call-outs. In the past decade, the tension at these events has skyrocketed as stars realize the stage is a perfect opportunity to settle scores. Instead of politely thanking their managers and families, some seize the microphone to confront rivals, call out hypocrisy, or simply stand up for themselves. From Hollywood elites mocking the entire system that made them famous, to chart-topping singers feuding live on camera, these moments have transformed award shows from tame love fests into unpredictable spectacles. Viewers tune in hoping for the kind of drama no film or TV show could script. But behind these jaw-dropping interactions lies a deeper question. What does it mean when people celebrated for their talent start using ceremonies to push back on the very industry that celebrates them? To find out, we'll explore some of the most scorching roasts and surprising call-outs ever witnessed on stage. Some were purely comedic, others carried serious social or personal implications, and a few changed Hollywood reputations forever. Let's begin with a man who turned a straightforward award introduction into a philosophical takedown, Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's unscripted Golden Globes. Jim Carrey has always had a curious relationship with Hollywood. He built a legendary comedy career starring in iconic films. Yet over the years, rumors suggest he became increasingly skeptical of the industry's shiny veneer. Whether it was due to perceived shallowness or personal reflection, Carrey started voicing his dissatisfaction in interviews, questioning Hollywood's priorities and purpose. When he was invited to present at the Golden Globes, everyone expected his usual comedic flair. After all, Carrey was introduced as a two-time Golden Globe winner. But instead of the typical lighthearted jokes, Carrey launched into a satirical speech that felt more like a philosopher's rant than an acceptance speech. He joked that when he went to bed at night, he wasn't simply Jim Carrey, he was two-time Golden Globe winner Jim Carrey, implying that Hollywood's obsession with accolades can distort identities. The laughter in the room was genuine, but there was an undercurrent of awkwardness, especially when Carrey mocked how insignificant these awards might be in the grand cosmic scale. He reminded everyone that if you zoomed out far enough, beyond Earth, beyond the solar system, human history itself would be invisible. Suddenly, the glitz of the Golden Globes felt trivial. As he stepped off stage, viewers and critics alike debated whether his words were comedic brilliance or an outright condemnation of Hollywood's vanity. In a matter of minutes, Carrey forced the audience to question their entire value system. Yet that was only a taste of what some hosts have delivered. While Carrey's critique was somewhat philosophical, Ricky Gervais would later demonstrate that not all roasts need to be profound to cut deep. Ricky Gervais' relentless roasts. If there's one person in show business who seems to live for controversy, it's Ricky Gervais. As soon as he began hosting major award ceremonies, viewers learned to expect savage barbs aimed at the biggest names in the industry. He claims to say what everyone is thinking, but many accuse him of going too far. Yet producers kept inviting him back, likely because audiences couldn't look away. One of Ricky's targets was the ever-charming Robert Downey Jr. While introducing the beloved actor at the Golden Globes, Gervais teased him for his past struggles, referencing stints at certain facilities by name. The jab was brutal, but Robert Downey Jr. responded with a smooth blend of humor and grace, calling the show's tone mean-spirited with mildly sinister undertones. In that single exchange, two comedic heavyweights traded jabs with surgical precision, proving that even personal history could be turned into comedic fodder on live TV. But the jokes didn't stop there. Ricky Gervais also set his sights on Steve Carell. Gervais famously co-created the original British series The Office, only to watch Carell become wildly successful with the US adaptation. Ricky would often joke, on stage and off, about how Carell was taking all the credit and glory for something he claims to have built from scratch. During one particularly tense monologue, he demanded his Emmy Award back from Carell in front of everyone. Though the moment was played for laughs, the tension felt surprisingly real, hinting that Ricky might have harbored genuine annoyance that the American version overshadowed his original show. Steve Carell's stoic reactions only fueled the crowd's amusement, but Ricky Gervais' comedic roasts, no matter how biting, still mostly revolve around comedic timing. The next call-out in our list was far more personal, involving a red carpet confrontation between a star and someone from his own past, Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan's red carpet clapback. Picture it. You're a major movie star making your directorial debut with a blockbuster film. The cameras are flashing, reporters are waving microphones, and you're fielding questions about your new project. Suddenly, a voice calls your name, and you spot a face from high school, a person who used to tease you. That's the situation Michael B. Jordan found himself in at the premiere of Creed 3. Long before he was one of Hollywood's top leading men, Jordan says he was teased for everything from his name to his aspirations. A former classmate turned interviewer greeted him on the red carpet with a casual, "We go way back," almost dismissing the teasing as playful childhood ribbing. But Michael wasted no time reminding her that he clearly remembered being called corny. The interview was still polite, but the tension was unavoidable. Speculation online exploded. Was Michael B. Jordan being petty? Or was this a fair response to someone trying to profit off his fame? Social media debates raged, with some calling him too sensitive, and others praising him for finally standing up to old bullies. Whatever side you choose, the moment showcased the power dynamic shift between a successful star and someone who once doubted him. It was a swift, very public clapback, and it left viewers feeling that sometimes the best revenge is delivered right on the red carpet. But heated moments aren't limited to film premieres. Music events, especially the VMAs, have produced some of the rawest onstage feuds in recent memory. Like when Nicki Minaj decided she had enough of being misunderstood and took matters into her own hands. Nicki Minaj versus Miley Cyrus, the VMA face-off. Few can forget the whirlwind year Nicki Minaj's Anaconda dominated the music scene. The video shattered viewership records, but when awards season rolled around, Nicki felt the industry was ignoring her contribution. She took to social media to express frustration about what she perceived as bias in award nominations. Miley Cyrus, who was hosting the VMAs that year, made a passing remark in an interview, calling Nicki not too polite, and insinuating that Nicki's concerns were more about personal grievances than actual industry bias. When Nicki's name was called for an award at the live broadcast, she thanked her fans, her team, and then turned her attention to Miley. She said, "And now, back to this one who had a lot to say about me the other day in the press. Miley, what's good?" The room went silent, with cameras zooming in on Miley's stunned expression. In that instant, every onlooker realized how quickly things could turn uncomfortable. Miley tried to remain poised, blaming the media for twisting her words, but the damage was done. From that moment, the VMAs became a powder keg of tension. Gossip columns speculated on how genuine the feud was, while fans online passionately took sides. Some admired Nicki's directness, labeling her a champion for women of color in music. Others defended Miley, suggesting the confrontation was overblown. Regardless, it's undeniable that the VMAs reached new heights of unpredictability. Yet for all the drama, Nicki's call-out wasn't the only time someone used an acceptance speech to question the industry. Drake had his own special moment of subversion at the Grammys. Drake's Grammy mic cut. For many artists, the Grammy Awards represent the pinnacle of recognition. But for Drake, who has been famously critical of the institution, the honor felt lukewarm at best. Despite winning multiple Grammys and racking up numerous nominations, Drake has argued that the ceremony sometimes fails to understand the cultural impact of certain genres and artists. The tension between him and the Recording Academy simmered for years. Then one night, Drake won a Grammy for God's Plan. He stood before the microphone, but instead of the standard thank yous, he challenged the very premise of needing a trophy. He told fans that if people are spending their hard-earned money on your music and shows, you've already won. Suddenly, the audio cut out mid-speech. Grammy representatives later claimed they thought he was done talking, but the timing was too perfect to ignore. Drake never got to finish his thought on live television. Fans immediately took to social media with conspiracy theories, suggesting the Grammys deliberately silenced him for challenging their relevance. Others believed it was a harmless mistake. Regardless, the message rang loud and clear. Drake didn't need the approval of any awards organization to validate his success. This kind of open defiance against an industry giant can have career repercussions, but it can also ignite widespread respect from fans. Then again, Drake's mild disruption pales in comparison to one of Hollywood's oldest feuds, Taylor Swift and Kanye West. Taylor Swift and Kanye West, a never-ending saga. Few celebrity entanglements have spanned as many award show cycles as Taylor Swift and Kanye West. Their saga began with that infamous moment at the 2009 VMAs, when Kanye grabbed the mic from Taylor, insisting Beyoncé deserved the win. Many predicted the feud would vanish in a matter of months, but it did the opposite. It grew into a multi-layered conflict that included phone call leaks, cryptic song lyrics, and countless social media debates. Fast forward to the release of Kanye's track, Famous, which included a line claiming he made Taylor famous. Taylor initially appeared blindsided, stating she never approved the specific lyrics. Then Kanye's wife at the time, Kim Kardashian, dropped a recorded phone call suggesting Taylor had known more than she admitted. The public was left to pick sides. Was Taylor truly misled, or was this a cunning plan to preserve her clean-cut image? Eventually, Taylor responded during her acceptance speech at the Grammys for Album of the Year. Without naming names, she urged young artists not to let anyone take credit for your accomplishments. She sounded resolute, poised, and determined to move past the drama. Yet fans still dissect every line she writes, searching for hidden references to Kanye. This never-ending back and forth reveals how a few impulsive actions at an award show can evolve into a cultural phenomenon that impacts careers, reputations, and entire fandoms. While Taylor's approach has been more measured in recent years, others have gone the exact opposite route, turning political dinners into comedic battlegrounds, as Barack Obama demonstrated at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Political takedowns, Obama roasts Trump. Imagine a formal dinner meant to honor the symbiotic relationship between the White House and the press. Now imagine that dinner morphing into a comedic roast. That's precisely what happens each year at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where the sitting president is expected to trade barbs with journalists and public figures. But in 2011, President Barack Obama took it to a whole new level by zeroing in on Donald Trump, who was then fostering rumors about Obama's birth certificate. Trump sat in the audience, stiff and unamused, as Obama delivered zinger after zinger. He joked about Trump's reality show credentials and poked fun at conspiracy theories. The entire room erupted in laughter, except Trump, who seemed stone-faced. According to various sources and political insiders, that night was a turning point for Trump, fueling his determination to dive deeper into politics. Years later, when Trump became president, many pointed back to that correspondents' dinner as a catalyst. Did Obama's jokes push Trump over the edge? We may never know for certain, but the correlation between public humiliation and renewed ambition is hard to ignore. The moment demonstrated that in the high-stakes world of politics, an offhand jab can carry more weight than any carefully planned speech. Award shows and political events share one core truth. Public callouts have real power, sometimes altering destinies. Still, for all these dramatic roasts, there's a flip side, the comedic or subtle shade that leaves everyone guessing. While some moments are explosive and direct, others come wrapped in a polite veneer, making us question whether it was truly a roast at all. Let's see how these tense but enthralling moments add up, and what they reveal about celebrity culture as a whole. From Jim Carrey's biting observations about the emptiness behind Hollywood's trophies, to Barack Obama's playful but cutting jabs at a future president, these high-profile callouts reflect a deeper shift in entertainment culture. Award shows were once an untouchable domain of polished acceptance speeches and harmless jokes. Now, they're a live arena where old grudges can be aired, media narratives can be challenged, and power dynamics can flip in the blink of an eye. What drives these stars to speak out in such a public, tension-filled setting? Perhaps it's the one platform where no one can mute them, though Drake might disagree, allowing them to set the record straight or settle scores with a captive audience watching. In some cases, these roasts end in laughter and applause, cementing the roaster's wit and courage. In others, they spark long-lasting feuds with fallout that spills into headlines, social media, and even the political realm. Ultimately, these explosive moments remind us that celebrity life is complex, and that public image can shatter or solidify based on a single well-timed or ill-timed remark. Viewers crave authenticity, even if that authenticity comes wrapped in drama. So the next time you watch an award show, keep your eyes peeled and your ears open. Behind the gilded statues and choreographed performances, you might catch a glimpse of honest human emotion breaking through the veneer. And in those moments, we see that even the biggest stars are unafraid to use their moment on stage to speak a bold, sometimes uncomfortable truth. Because if there's one lesson award shows have taught us, it's this: the microphone is more than a tool for acceptance speeches. It can be a weapon, one that, when wielded effectively, can transform the entire trajectory of a public persona. And that is exactly why fans tune in, year after year, to see who dares to use it next.